So I have just walked Ellie to school and then got home, put Alf straight in the car. He was on the carrier on my back, so he's still awake. He's still awake at the moment. Are you right, Alf? No noises. But he is awake. And we are going to the shop to get some more packaging materials. He is awake. More packaging materials. This is a very non-makeup scary face this early in the morning. Yes, we're going to go to the shop. I'm going to try and keep him awake for as much as possible. Yeah, mate. And then hopefully when he gets home, he will then have his first nap, because normally he'd be having his first nap about now. And we can, I can finish packing those last 4 advents that didn't have packaging material. And I have a few shop orders to pack up, and then we'll do our post office run. Yay. So things have gone a little bit differently today. I went to the shop, couldn't get the packing stuff that I wanted, so some of my parcels are wrapped in tissue. Hopefully they'll be okay. So down here I have the advents and a couple of other little parcels. Everything's done. It's leaving the house. I don't know how I'm going to carry 6 carrier bags to the post office with Alf. I think I'll probably put them in the carrier on my back. So I'm going to go and post those. Yeah, I've had a bit of a funny day because my niece had to come back from nursery, so I went and got her. But I left early because she was happy. So we just have about enough time to go do my boots up to the post office, drop off these parcels, get back here, and then it will be almost time to get our shoes on again and go up and get Ellie. I feel so great for having those all packed up and ready to leave the house and done. And then my last bit's got here for my Kickstarters. Now there are like 40 of those to pack up, but that means that I can get those out and then I will have nothing outstanding. So I'm feeling a little bit better about putting up a 12 days of Christmas for those that keep asking. I will do the numbers this week and see if I can make it happen. But yeah, so I am going to crack on to the post office. And at least now that the advents are out of the house, I won't have to be so secretive about all the things I'm doing all the time. Alright, mate. Hiya. Alf, what you doing? Hi, welcome to day 8. So I didn't sign off yesterday, so it will come straight through as one video. The reason I didn't sign off was quite similar to a couple of days ago when I didn't sign off because I was having an anxiety attack. Ellie, you've got chocolate on your face. So can I have another piece of your chocolate? We'll see if you can be a really good girl for me when we go out, okay? So basically, last night I'd got all of my advents out in the post yesterday, and last night I decided to just go for it and put up a 12 days of Christmas, at which point I promptly had a panic attack, hyperventilating, chest pains, wanting to hide. I did just hide for the evening. She thinks she's being hilarious. I just hid for the evening, if I'm honest, and put some things up on Facebook, on Instagram about my 12 days of Christmas, and then walked away. I don't know if anyone will be interested, but yeah, it's up there. Anyway, so I noticed this morning when I had a shower that now Alfie's doing it. He's copying you. I noticed that, so if you can see under here is some of the purple. Well, I don't know if you can see that. It's like under. There's some purple left, but now look how much has come out. There's barely any purple left on this side. Maybe a little bit underneath, but we're going like a blue-grey, which I'm fine with. Anyway, we just went and did the first post office drop of the next run of the Kickstarters, the dyeing kits. So basically, I did this Kickstarter a little while ago, if you haven't been watching for long, and my hands are covered in dye because I've been making up kits. And I did a Kickstarter dyeing kit, and yeah, I was waiting on some more dye to turn up, and so we've just taken the first kits to the post office. We then needed to go to the shop, and then we needed to go, Ellie is having a Happy Meal for lunch today, aren't you, Elbel? Yeah. From McDonald's. So we need to do that, but we got to the post office. We did the post office drop of the first load of Kickstarter kits, and she probably told me she needed a wee, so we've just run back home, and then now we're going to go out to the shop. And I'm sporting an injury to my face. I am getting a little bit of a lump, a little trauma lump in the cartilage from my nose piercing, but my darling son at 4 a.m. this morning. Yes?
Why do you have nose piercing?
Because I like it. That's why I decided to get a nose piercing.
Maybe you can get 2 of them.
What, get one on this side as well?
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure that would suit me, darling. Anyway, so I was getting a little bit of a trauma lump in the cartilage. Anyway, but then my darling son at 4 a.m. this morning, when he woke up for a bottle, which doesn't normally happen, I think he's having a growth spurt, he ripped my nose piercing out of my nose. So I now have a nice big, like... That was you?
Yeah.
What did you do?
A fart.
A fart. Lovely.
And another one.
Oh, babes, you don't need to tell us. So yeah, so it's a good thing we have to wear face masks, right? Because now no one gets to see my injury in public. Just the whole of the internet that comes over here. Anyway, we'll take you along with us today.
I'm going to eat some of his cat food.
Cat food?
Yeah.
Do you like eating cat food?
Mhm.
Do you know that that's called a pipette?
Where?
In your hand. The thing you have in your hand is called a pipette. Ooh.
I can drink out of it.
You can drink out of it, you're right.
But I'm going to feed my cat some more for now.
Yeah, so are we actually just pouring water all over the sofa?
Yeah, on this pillow. Can do all his dribbles on there.
Yeah, but maybe Mummy doesn't want all the dribbles on the pillow.
But I'm going to feed him some more for now.
Right then. Okay, so just a quick check-in because I have had a few comments today on previous videos with people saying, like, I don't know how you do it all with a toddler, well, not really a toddler, preschooler now, and a baby, and trying to run a business and dye yarn and make hand balm and all this. I need to make something very clear. Certain things don't happen. So 90% of the time I don't put on makeup. And my hair looks like this. Bird's nest. And yeah, my kitchen table looks like that. It's awful. It has a combination of coats and backpacks and some deliveries that I haven't had time to pack away and all sorts. You know, there are giant tubs of water and a spin dryer in my kitchen. There is so much jammed into this house. My hallway looks like this. My cutting machine and my yarn supply stuff, and yeah, like my nails and hands look like this, and it's grim. So certain things fall by the wayside, and luckily I am one of those people that if that happens, like makeup, nails and stuff like that, if I don't have the time for them or they're not getting done, then it doesn't bother me too much. I do like to do that sort of thing sometimes, and completely 100% honest, I don't have an issue with anybody, like, if those are your things that you would choose to do first, like, more power to you. Like, you know, that's not saying anything about anybody, and there sure are days when I just would love to put some makeup on and do my nails and feel good in like how I look, but muddling through, I know that the life I want with my children is one where I get to play with them every day, where I am there for them if they're sick, where I can go and get them from school at the drop of the hat if I need to. And this isn't saying anything bad about my parents, but that is not the childhood that I really had. Both my parents worked very hard, full time, and if I can possibly scrape by making my business work so that I can work from home and around the kids, I will scratch and claw to be able to make that work. I will do whatever I can to be able to make that work, just because that's the lifestyle I would really love to have with my family. So I do not have it all together. I definitely prioritise on some days. There are definitely days when I don't get dressed. And I just try and mix playing with the kids with getting some work done. Today we have been playing in the living room, and every time that they are suddenly engrossed in something, both of them, Alfie and Al, will sit and play. If they're engrossed in something and I don't need to be monitoring it like really closely or playing with them, like if they're having a little on their own game, I am straight over at the cone of yarn winding minis to go into the dyeing kits. That's another question I had, was where am I buying my minis from to go into the dyeing kits? I'm just using my regular wholesaler. I'm not buying mini skeins. I know there is a shortage of them. I'm buying sock yarn on the cone and winding the minis myself. In all honesty, yes, there is a shortage in mini skeins. That isn't why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's significantly cheaper, but you're getting the same product. And I need to try and scrape all of those little 20p, 10p differences if I'm going to make this work. So that's the answer to that question. You can just buy it on a cone and wind it off yourself, which is what I'm doing. So yeah, I have got the dye pot on. The bain-marie is going on over there behind me on my absolute mess of a worktop. There's all my dyes and squirty bottles and things are over there. I cannot wait to get the garage done. So if you're new here and I haven't spoken about it before, earlier this year I did a Kickstarter for dyeing kits, and they are now going out or some of them went out a little while ago. The early bird ones did. I had to wait on some dye, so now the next stage are going out. And we have a single garage, which we don't really use for anything but storage. And we have a plan whereby we can insulate and turn the back half of the garage into a workshop for me, a studio, like a craft space. And if we can get that done, then it'll be cramped because it's not going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely crammed to the rafters, but I can get as much of this outside as I can, and I've got a desk that can go out there, which is currently filling up half of my baby's room. And I've got so many plans for everything that can go out there, and I can go somewhere, I have a dedicated place to work. I will still have to work in the house because there's times that I'm working around the kids or I'm working in the evenings. I don't particularly want to sit out in the garden until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, which is sort of the time-ish that I work to at the moment. But if I'm more organised and everything has its own home, then I won't be constantly going through boxes, lifting things off each other. It won't be such a mission to find one little thing. So the Kickstarter for the dyeing kits this year actually helped me fund a shed in the garden. The shed now houses all of the stuff that was in the back of the garage that we needed to get out. So like all the garden things, the lawnmower, tools, car cleaning stuff, like all the things that you have in your garage are now in there. We've got a big pile of stuff in the garage that needs to go to charity shops and recycling centres when we get a minute. And then, yeah, we can convert, but I haven't got the money to convert the garage. We know multiple people who are very lovely who will help us, family members who will help us to do all of the work. It won't be a huge amount of work because there's already light and power and everything in the garage. But we need to pay for all the materials, and we do need to pay them a bit for their time. So we are currently in the process of remortgaging, and we're going to borrow a little bit extra to do the garage. So I'm hoping, I don't know when it'll get done, but sooner rather than later would be amazing because I can't live like this. But I'm hoping to, in the next few months, maybe if we're really lucky and can afford it once we've done all the numbers after everything, we're hoping to be able to make the back of the garage into a room so that I can work out there and have a proper workspace, and that will massively help with me being able to tidy my house and not constantly have stuff everywhere. And this morning when Ellie she was helping me put stickers on the Kickstarter boxes, and then she knocked a Kickstarter box over, and you should have seen the look on her face. She went, and I went, because there's little pots of dye in there, a little thing. I don't want anything to be lost out with one of the boxes and someone not get something. And I was like, it's okay, like that. But like the panic in her face, the panic in my face, and I just felt bad because this is her house, her play space. She loves to help mummy, but I don't ever want her to, Alfie's just woken up from his nap. I don't ever want her to feel stressed about the fact that I work in the house. Yeah, anyway, that was your random chat for this afternoon. Right, so thought I'd share this with you, you know, life. Alfie woke up. Okay, baby. Alfie woke up from a nap that went a little bit late, so sort of over dinner time. So, got him his dinner, started feeding him his dinner. He got really upset. He was obviously not quite awake yet. I'm now bouncing him in his bouncy chair with my feet. He was not obviously like ready for food. So really started to cry and get upset. So, well done, darling. So I picked him up. Give me a minute, please. So I picked him up to give him a cuddle, at which point he threw up his dinner all over my front and my shoulders. And then Ellie shouts to me. Now, Ellie had gone to the loo. She takes herself to the loo. If it's number 1, she's fine. I wipe for a number 2. That is it. I get a shout from Ellie. I'm done. That means she's been for a number 2. I need to go and help her. I'm like, Ellie, can you just hang on a second? Wait a minute. Alfie's upset. I'll be with you in just a minute. Because I shouted, I didn't shout loud, just loud enough for her to hear me in the toilet. He then starts to cry again, so it took me even longer to settle him. So I sit down on the floor in the living room with him.
Mummy, I put my nappy on myself.
Well done, darling. So I sit down. All right, just give me a minute, please. So Alfie, you're not going to give me a minute either, huh? So I sit down on the floor in the living room to get him settled. And I'm rocking him backwards and forwards. And then I realised that Ellie was playing with a bowl of water and a pipette, and she has spilt her entire bottle of water on the carpet, and I'm sitting in the puddle. She has hidden the bowl. She didn't want me to see what she'd done. And so I said, Ellie, it's wet in here. And she goes, it's okay. You can get a towel. I spilt my water. So now I have a wet bum and a sicky top. Finally calm Alf down enough to be able to put him in his bouncy chair, go into the loo to see what she needs doing so she can get out of there. And I noticed this massive puddle on the floor. Now, I didn't stand in it, thankfully, but I'm like, Ellie, have you been running the tap? Oh, no, Mummy. I really, really needed a wee. I didn't get on the toilet in time. So there's a giant puddle of wee on my toilet floor. And I clean it up, and then I have to get her off the toilet and sort her out. So, yeah. We come back through here. She's got herself a nappy because it's very nearly bedtime, and she does wear nappies at night, or pull-ups at night. We come back in here, at which point I give Alfie a little cuddle. He's still a bit sad. He pukes down me again, then sort of starts to wriggle out of my cuddle. He doesn't want a cuddle. Now we are watching Netflix ads because I literally am like this on the sofa, can't even bring myself to find something for her to watch. So Ellie's now watching Netflix ads and playing with the telly remote. Alpha's just looking at me like I'm a bad mum.